Forget everything you think you know about success. It is not a journey. It is not a climb. It is a reaction. A violent, instantaneous, and irreversible chemical transformation that occurs in the hidden laboratory of your mind. I am here to tell you about the catalyst, the single explosive element that initiates this change. It is not money. It is not education. It is not opportunity. It is something far more potent, something you possess in infinite supply, though you may use it with pitiful scarcity. It is the moment of decision. Right there, that's it. The entire secret of the universe, the philosopher's stone that turns the lead of your present circumstances into the glittering gold of your grandest ambitions, is contained within the molecular structure of a single committed decision. Not a hope, not a wish, not a preference. A white-hot, soul-forged, unequivocal decision. Most people drift through life as inert gases. They occupy space, they have potential energy, but they refuse to react with anything. They float in a fog of indecision, paralyzed by what-ifs and if-onlys. Their potential remains locked away, a noble gas in the periodic table of life, stable, safe, and utterly, tragically, non-reactive. They see the elements of success all around them. The oxygen of action, the carbon of discipline, the hydrogen of vision, but they will not bond with them. Why? Because they have never introduced the catalyst. They have never decided. I want you to picture your mind as an alchemist's laboratory, right now. Within the crucible of your consciousness are all the raw materials of your life. The sum total of your experiences, your fears, your hopes, your skills, your doubts, they are all in there, a murky, stagnant solution of untapped potential. This is your prima materia, the base matter from which all wonders can be formed. Left alone, it will remain just that, a sludge of what could be. But the moment you make a true decision, you introduce a divine catalyst into that mixture, a single drop of pure, focused intent. And in that instant, a reaction begins. It is not a gentle process. It is a violent, churning exothermic event. The solution begins to bubble and hiss. The temperature skyrockets. The impurities of doubt and fear, being less dense, are burned away as vapor, screaming as they are purged from the mixture. The core elements of your character, your courage, your purpose, your strength, are subjected to immense pressure, forcing them to bond in new and more powerful configurations. This is the alchemy of achievement. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for the chemist of the soul, the one who is willing to stand in the fire of their own transformation. Let's talk about the first element you must command in this laboratory. Your mindset. Your mindset is not just a component of the experiment. It is the laboratory. It is the very vessel in which the great work is performed. If your laboratory is contaminated, if the glassware of your perception is cracked, if the air is thick with the poisonous fumes of a victim mentality, any experiment you attempt is doomed to fail. The reaction will be corrupted. The result will be not gold, but a toxic sludge of resentment and failure. You must first become a ruthless custodian of your mental laboratory. Sterilize it. Seal it from the outside world's rampant negativity. Post a guard at the door of your mind and interrogate every thought that seeks entry. Does this thought serve the formula of my success? Does it amplify the reaction or neutralize it? Be merciless. Expel any thought that does not align with your decision. This is not about positive thinking. This is about alchemical purity. You cannot create gold from lead if you are constantly allowing psychic dirt to fall into the crucible. Once your laboratory is pristine, you must identify the base metal you intend to transmute. You must define this purpose with crystalline clarity. What is the one thing you are deciding to achieve? Not a grocery list of vague desires. One thing. I will become a millionaire. I will build this company into an industry leader. I will achieve perfect physical health. It must be a statement of such clarity and power that it rings like a bell in the chambers of your soul. This definite purpose is the subject of your entire alchemical endeavor. All your energy, all your resources, all the fire of your being will be focused on the transmutation of this single, defined substance. Now we add the fire. The fire is belief, not hope. Belief. Belief is the blowtorch of the subconscious mind. It is the unwavering application of intense, focused heat that is necessary to break the atomic bonds of your current reality. Hope is a candle flame flickering in the wind, easily extinguished by the first breath of adversity. Belief is a furnace. It is a self-sustaining conflagration that burns hotter when challenged, that consumes obstacles as if they were dry tinder. How do you generate such a fire? You feed it. You feed it with the fuel of your own thoughts. You read about those who have already achieved what you desire. You speak with the authority of someone who's already succeeded. You are programming belief. You are creating a controlled burn, an internal inferno of certainty that will melt down the very structure of failure. When you combine a sterile mental laboratory with a definite major purpose and the unquenchable fire of belief, the preliminary reaction begins. The lead begins to glow, to soften, to lose its shape. It becomes malleable. It is ready for the next stage of the great work. This is the point where most people falter. They generate a little heat, they see the first signs of change, and they panic. They mistake the violence of the reaction for destruction, when it is, in fact, creation. They pull the crucible from the fire, and the lead cools, hardening back into the same useless lump it was before. Only now it is scarred with the memory of a failed transformation. But not you. You will not flinch, because you have decided. Your decision was the catalyst, and it is also the seal upon the crucible. You have committed to seeing the reaction through to its glorious, golden conclusion. No matter the heat, no matter the pressure. You understand that the chaos within the crucible is merely the price of transmutation. It is the beautiful, violent, and necessary dance of elements as they shed their old nature and embrace a new and divine form. This is the engine of creation, roaring to life in the laboratory of your soul. And you, the master alchemist, will not turn away. You will lean closer. You will watch with rapt attention, and you will add the next ingredient to the formula. Your plan is that recipes. It is the structured, disciplined application of your energy, and it begins with vision. Vision is not the same as purpose. Purpose is the what. Vision is the what it looks like. It is the ability to see the gold in its finished state while the lead is still melting. You must render the vision of your success so real, so tangible, so viscerally present in your mind that it becomes more real than your current reality. You must see it, feel it, taste it, smell it. You must be able to describe the weight of the gold bar in your hand, the way the light glints off its surface, the cool, solid feel of its reality. Your vision must be holographic. You must be able to walk around in it. If your goal is a mansion, I want you to walk through the front door. I want you to feel the cool marble under your feet. I want you to run your handle along the polished mahogany of the banister. I want you to see the sunlight streaming through the windows illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. I want you to smell the scent of fresh flowers on the foyer table. This is the work, the real work. The act of creating a psychic blueprint so detailed that the physical construction is a mere formality. This is the great test of the alchemist. It is not a test of genius, but of consistency. Can you perform the ritual every single day? Can you add the drops of effort, the pinch of focus, the measure of courage, even when you feel no inspiration? Especially when you feel no inspiration. The fire in the crucible does not care about your mood. The reaction does not pause for your convenience. It demands to be fed. And your discipline is the only food it will accept. And as the reaction progresses, as the substance in the crucible begins to take on the shimmering hue of gold, a strange thing happens. A new element is generated. It is a byproduct of the reaction itself, an emission of pure energy that sanctifies the entire process. That element is gratitude. Gratitude is not a placid, gentle emotion. In the laboratory of success, it is a powerful solvent. It is the acid that dissolves the final impurities. It is the force that polishes the finished gold until it shines with a divine luster. You do not wait until the end to be grateful. You inject gratitude into the reaction at every stage. You are grateful for the lead itself, for it is the raw material of your miracle. You are grateful for the fire of belief, for it is the engine of your transformation. You are grateful for the crucible of your mind, for it is the sacred vessel that contains the great work. You are grateful for the discipline, for the sweat, for the struggle, because you, the master alchemist, understand that these are not obstacles, they are the very agents of transmutation. Your plan, your formula must have built-in flexibility. You must be married to your vision, but not to your method. If the path you are on is blocked by a landslide, you do not abandon the destination. You consult your map, you survey the new terrain, and you find another way. You may have to tunnel through the mountain. You may have to build a bridge over the chasm. You may have to invent a new form of transportation altogether. The decision to succeed was absolute. The method of succeeding is infinitely adaptable. This is resilience. Resilience is the property of your finished gold. Lead bends and breaks, iron rusts and decays, but gold endures. It can be buried for 1,000 years and emerge from the earth as brilliant as the day it was forged. Your resilience is your incorruptibility. It is the measure of your transformation. When you have truly transmuted the lead of your old self into the gold of your new reality, you become impervious to the corrosive elements of failure and despair. This is the final and most crucial element in the entire periodic table of achievement. Learning, every outcome, every result, whether it is the shimmering gold of success or a pile of blackened char, is a source of information. The master alchemist is the ultimate student. He dissects his failures with the same dispassionate curiosity with which he analyzes his successes. What went wrong? At what stage did the reaction falter? Was the temperature too high? Was there a contaminant in the crucible? Was the formula itself flawed? He is not emotionally attached to the outcome. He is passionately devoted to the process. He knows that every failure contains a seed of equivalent benefit. He knows that within the ashes of his last disaster lies the secret ingredient for his next triumph. He learns, he refines, he adjusts the formula, and he begins the experiment again, only this time, he is not the same alchemist. He is wiser, he is stronger. The fire that burned his experiment has forged his will into something harder and more pure. This is the life of the achiever. It is a life of constant, glorious, and exhilarating transformation. It is the life of the alchemist in his laboratory, sleeves rolled up, face smudged with the soot of effort, eyes gleaming with the fire of creation, surrounded by the beautiful chaos of becoming. It all begins in that single, solitary, earth-shattering moment when you look at the dull, heavy, worthless lead of your life, and you do not wish it were different. You do not hope it will change. You decide that it will be gold. You introduce the catalyst. You strike the match. You seal the crucible, and you unleash the fire. The moment you truly, irrevocably decide, the universe has no choice but to bend to the beautiful, terrible, and divine chemistry of your will. The reaction has begun. The gold is already forming. The success is already yours. It was always yours. It was just waiting for the moment you decided